such a solid defensive team?
Boston?
Yeah.
I don't know, I think they're a 48-minute team. That's what I love. The first thing I saw is their bench is probably as strong as their starters. Their energy is good, more consistently than I think most NBA teams I watch on video. They don't have a lot of ego. And I think they know that their defense creates offense for them. So they play at a very high, very difficult, very energized level.
When you look at Darren and kind of how he's been playing recently, what are you liking in his mentality leading your bench unit right now?
He's been more aggressive, I think. His touches aren't conservative. I think he knows that, with that second unit, especially with Marco starting, that we need more people to be in an attack mode, and he's had a lot of success with his attacks to the rim, and he's also shooting the ball at a high level, and his intensity defensively, I think, has picked up too.
Coach, with the trade deadline coming up, can you flash back to last year and talk about how, and it was very early on the West Coast when you made the move to acquire Andre Miller?
What a weird question. I think it was more of from our standpoint, a contractual situation where we gave up a 2-year contract for a 1-year contract to give us some flexibility to make some moves in the summertime. And I love Andre. I hope that he makes the Hall of Fame someday, because he's one of the precious passers of the game of basketball, and so much of this game is predicated on great passers and team guys that build team and structure team, and Andre Miller is one of those winners, those team builders that has never had any glory in the postseason, but damn, has he been good for a team. When I've coached him, he's been just a fun person to be around.
When you're game planning against the Celtics, what do you do to try and stop Isaiah Thomas?
Have a good defender on him. Length would be good. A guy that could maybe bother a shot because of his size, and stay away from him a little bit and give you a buffer to control his speed. Got to make good defensive reads on the pick and rolls. It's kind of like when he gets both scoring and passing into the game, he's dynamite. So can you eliminate one of them and then maybe control the other one? It's kind of, he's turned into a premier point guard in a very classy way.
George, you mentioned that the Celtics play hard all the time. How difficult is it as a coach, even this stage, to get guys to consistently play hard?
Well, I think the perception is, I think the NBA players play hard. It's the teams that have the talent to play harder than their opponent that is what I think Boston has. And it's not, of a 48-minute game, it's not dominant, but they have those 5-minute moments or those 15-possession moments where their energy is very much substantially stronger than their opponent. And some of it comes because they're a defensive team that creates turnovers. Some of it comes because they're young kids and fighting for minutes. And Coach Stevens does a great job of picking and pushing buttons to make everybody kind of stay highly motivated. But they're a fun team. I watched 3 films on them in the Cleveland game because we play Cleveland and Mars. I'll tell you what, I think they have a chance against Cleveland.
It's tougher to coach today's generation of players than it was 20 years ago?
All our old school guys and all old guys say yes. If we had 3 or 4 beers in us, we'd probably all say, yeah, but I have guys my age that still think we were better players than the guys today, and that's a joke. I can't play with any of these guys, and I was a decent basketball player, but I'm not even on the caliber of these guys. So the game is so different. The money has made it an incredibly power-oriented game. The agents, the TV, the branding, and all that stuff is just, I'm not saying it's bad for the game of basketball, but I'm saying it's a distraction probably at times for players, management, coaches. It's probably a little distraction, but I'm not sure it's bad for us.
Try to get your team to play more consistently.
Keep working. go to work every day, and I think the last 6 weeks of our season have been our best 6 weeks, and that's a positive to me. Even though we haven't been playing winning, haven't been finding winning ways lately, but I just think since about January 1, end of December, we've been doing a pretty good job.
When you're trying to improve your team's overall defense, what are some of the building blocks to making that process happen?
It comes in different packages. I think the quandary that we're in is the game now is so attack-oriented to create attacks on the defense to find the 3 ball. Earlier in the season, we weren't covering the attacks. Now we're covering the attacks and we're not covering the 3 ball. And hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks, we might be able to figure out how to do both. And I think that's the sign of good basketball teams defensively. All teams go through stretches where the schedule or the personality of the team you're playing sometimes is, sometimes your weaknesses are their strengths. And I think we went into that a little bit lately in some of the games that we've played.
Coach, is Ben going to be able to go today?
I don't think so.
In that case, have you liked what you've seen from James in the minutes he's been getting lately?
I will probably start James tonight.
How has time management changed for players since the beginning of your coaching career to now?
Time management in the games?
No, just like throughout the day-to-day of being a basketball player.
I would say they're more professional. They're more committed to being in the gym. We have such good structure now to, they get in the gym at 8:30, 9 o'clock. We feed them a good breakfast. They can hang out. They can watch video. They can go on the court, get extra work. I think the culture of getting better is basically saturated in most NBA teams at a high level. I think these guys understand. If you can get better and extend your career a year or two, that's a lot of money to extend your career. You can get to pay your grandchildren a little bit.
George, you mentioned the branding in the current NBA game and social media. Is there a point where you'll know inside, like, I don't want to do this anymore? I don't, is there a point that you kind of feel that way?
I'm actually at a stage right now that I'm energized trying to figure out how to get better at what I'm doing. I was out for 2 years, a year and a half, year and 3/4, and it's changing fast. And I don't think I'm ever going to want to get out of the gym. So give me a position in the gym. I still like pushing the buttons, but I don't think about that very much.